My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
Memo bibiara kwaba eba PENDREAM TV. So we are new to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, bell notification no. Na share ma afofro ensa enkabi. Is Ken Ofori planning to buy the Trump's gold and answer the Trump gold card? We a citizenship program at the United States of America, which is worth $1 million. Now, what that card where by default, what be the citizen of the United States of America. Kofi Bento of Imani Ghana at the leaked information be at to that. Yeah, what just second Oforiata MPC Obeba Ghana. There are several ways over to me afas of Etuja Agenamo Abra or a year abrogate. Now one of the means, and I say Obeto the Trump's gold card. Kofi Bento of Imani Ghana, HSA, second Oforiata any $1 million what account to Mukrana or friends on bet me I mobilize $1 million. Amana ato this Trump gold card to be a citizen of the United States of America. And Felix Ofosu Kwache, and so Abe True Banter. I just say yes. There is a program in the United States of America, the Trump's gold card. Oto a obeye, there's an answer. Oto a obeye, the citizen of the United States of America. Name per the record, and I said per Ken Oforiata record. Yeah, Ghana, yeah, send a extradition, a request. Yeah, America, I receive request. Recently, the ambassador to the United States of America, ever more details on one submitted request. A few days to Christmas, and I said on the 24th of December. And Felix Ofosu Kwache agent so because of signing record in internet, and yeah, US ever granted that Trump's gold card to be the citizen of the United States of America. And some way, SMA who do be na Kofi Bento of Imani Ghana, Editoja, any offense to the Felix Ofosu Kwache, ne banta or true ama Kofi Bento of Imani Ghana, then Sema or can offer a kwanya. Ken Oforiata ever fast or saving him from coming to Ghana.
And Mr. Bento, perfect. Hearing this detail, and this was more of an inquiry conversation to get to know some bit which is not already in the public domain. Now there's that confirmation that both of them were picked up by different agencies on the same day for different reasons. The FBI's involvement, especially in the case of Ken, but Sedina Tamaklo now in detention after this extradition request, how the process will play out on the 21st, hearing from Mr. Smith on the issues and how picking up even, happened and all. First off, how does this get to you?
Right. So this is clearly not the regular ICE raid and deportation. Why do I say so? ICE don't have to be nice to you. ICE are picking up U.S. citizens and sending them to third-party countries in secret, doing plain illegal things. So if ICE wanted to pick you off the street and just send you out, they would do it. So clearly, this is not your normal arrangement. And you can see, as Ambassador Smith is saying, FBI is involved and all kinds of... There's a bit of, gingerness around this one. And then it's interesting that they were both picked up on the same day. Said in our case, we have always said that if this government is about justice, a convicted criminal clearly is easier to extradite than somebody you have not charged at all. So there were those issues there. But all said and done, look, Ambassador Smith said something right now, which I think is very, very important. Let's keep it in mind. He said he has some information or he believes or has heard that, I quote, Ken would love to come back, but is apprehensive about how he will be treated. Okay.
That's why I said the people around Ken have told him.
I know that too.
You know that?
I know that. That Ken would like to come back, but is apprehensive about how he'll be treated because of the kinds of things that have been said and done in the past 1 year. And look, let us all, step back and be sober about these things. We all want accountability, okay? And if we are going to believe what Ambassador Smith is saying, then Ken himself wants to come and clear his name. I have said publicly that any prosecutor who charges, in a high profile case like this with 78 charges is not serious. Because you will go and do the work in a clinical, laser-focused way. So, for me, it is not so much about the issues in court, etc., which are an issue. And I was the first person to say, charge Ken and try him in absentia because the law allows that. That is how they got said in Atabaklo. But when it's all said and done, there is one rule that every religion in this world ascribes to. In the Bible, it is in Matthew 7:12. It says, do unto others what you would want them to do to you. This is the sum of all the law and the prophets. In other words, all religious teaching, Matthew 7:12. Look at Luke 6:31. Is also there. Why am I using this Bible thing? Look, there's a guy called Alexei Navalny. He was an opposition leader in Russia. Okay? And the Russians put some charges and things on him. He ran away. Okay? And then later he was like, no, he doesn't fear anything. So he's going to go back and then fight, the charges against him. Because he knew that the charges were bogus. Everybody knew the charges were bogus. And Alexei Navalny was told, do not go. Because it is not about the charges. They want to do something else to you. Okay? Alexei Navalny said, no, these are charges he wants to go and face. So he went back into Russia. In a short while, he was dead. They just killed him off. Okay? I'm not saying this is what we want to do. This is Ghana. This is where I live. This is not who we are. But if Ken Ofori is apprehensive because somebody thinks that the day he steps into this country, he will be locked up in a cell and the key will be thrown away. If you are Ken, or if Ken is your brother, or if Ken is your father, I'm not talking about the charges. I'm telling you, I don't think the charges are serious.
You don't think the charges
No.
has...
I don't think there's... Look, listen to me. Making bad decisions in government is not a crime. All right?
What do you mean by making bad decisions?
The
outcome of it...
We voted President Nana Akufo-Addo out. We said he made a lot of bad decisions. It is not a crime. We just didn't vote for the right person, so he makes mistakes. But if we can prove that you made decisions to profit yourself corruptly, cause financial loss to the state, and those things.
And you had intentions.
You had intentions. There are so many things you have to prove. Okay? So for me, I'm building this thing because people have a way of, saying, picking what you say and then moving it off. I'm saying, Ambassador Victor Smith says, Ken would want to come, but is apprehensive about how he will be treated.
Which you've confirmed.
And I have confirmed that. And I'm saying, it is not about the charges he's afraid of. He's afraid of the treatment he will get.
But has there been any indication that he's going to be subjected to any bad treatment?
Yes.
Even with the Attorney General's assurance that he will not. He has actually given that
Let me tell
commitment.
you where I'm picking it from. Last week, Honorable Dafia before was here and said that bail is given based on conduct. And he was right. Now, if you translate it into the situation of Ken, what it means is Ken's conduct is such that he will not be granted bail. Okay? I sent some questions to you, and where I was driving to was that, you see, nobody is above the law.
Yes.
So Ken Ofori is not above the law.
So come and face the...
If for some reason he has to come and face whatever, Ambassador Smith says that he thinks he will come and face it, but he's afraid of how he will be treated. How will he be treated with regards to bail? Dafia Boko is telling you that because of his conduct, he's not likely to be given bail.
Is that what you claim from him? Because he wasn't specific in that.
Yeah, so I'm making conjecture. Call him. So I'm saying, if tomorrow Ken comes in this country and they agree or they decide they will not give him bail, they will have a good reason for it because they'll say he was running away from justice.
It is not that they will decide not to give him bail. You have to go through the legal process. And it is the process that will decide whether or not he's given bail.
Yes.
And that will be done only by the court.
Yes.
But you have to go through a process.
Yes.
If Apia Kubi is arrested today, I will start the process. And I will be sent to court.
Yes.
And based on the submission of my counsel and the conditions that prevail and the possibility of me coming back to court. In fact, that is the most important that the court will determine whether or not you are likely to come back to face judgment if you are granted bail. Yeah. So the conditions of bail will look at that, which will make you come back. It is not to punish you at that point. So he is also a citizen of Ghana. He comes in, He starts with arrest, they process you, they bring you to court, and you are entitled to counsel. Let counsel come and tell the court why you should be granted bail. And
So-
it is a discretionary exercise.
Today, Yoko is granting bail, right?
Yes, because the law allows them.
Aye. So I'm saying Yoko is granting bail and placing bail conditions that people are finding very, very difficult to meet. All right? What I'm saying is that he can be brought, he can be sent through the system, and based on the things that have been said, okay, and the sentiments around, it is not likely that he will be granted bail.
I see.
If you are...
How do the sentiments
may be
influence
granted
what
bail on
happens?
very difficult
You
conditions.
say may,
Yes.
and I am saying that based on everything, his apprehension is that even though he's a sick man who has gone through all this surgery and is recuperating and whatever it is, he does not think that he will be treated well like what Ambassador Victor Smith is saying. Okay, so my point is that, look, at the end of the day, okay, if there is a way to proceed and try this man, go ahead and do it. Okay, why is it so necessary? Go ahead and do it. Because I use the example of Alexei Navalny, who said, no, he's not afraid of the charges, he's going to go. He went and he was killed. That is the general view, that it is the state system that killed him. So I'm not saying that will happen in Ghana. I live here. Okay, I trust that my government is not that way. But things happen in this country. So for me, okay, what we need to do is to deal with this thing maybe a bit differently. Let me tell you some things to which are matters of fact, 100% fact. If Ken wants to run away, okay, today in America, you can buy citizenship. In America, if they say Ken is corrupt and as rich as he is, okay, if you invest a certain amount of money in America, they will give you citizenship. Today, there's something called a Trump Gold Card.
Yes.
It's worth $1 million, $1 million.
You think Ken Ofori can afford that?
I didn't say so. I don't
When
know.
did
It's
this
back
start?
to
When did this
So
start?
let me make my point. I didn't say. I'm saying they are matters of fact. With 10 million cedis today, if Ken doesn't have it, Ken has enough friends who can mobilize that for him. He can buy a Trump Gold Card and stay there.
Yeah, but
And
that-
the third one, let me finish. The third thing, which is very, very important, Ambassador Smith will tell you, today, if ICE picks you up and says that you are living in the States illegally, in fact, there's a program in the States where they will give you money to self-deport, about $3,000 or so. If you opt to self-deport, they will actually give you money to leave the country, and people have picked it. So today, Ken can say, I don't want to be in the States anymore. I want to self-deport. And he will self-deport to a non-extradition treaty country. Another country which doesn't have a extradition treaty with Ghana.
But you need a visa.
Oh, please, you don't, counsel. If you go, you can go to their place and given all the things, they just go onto the internet, they'll see all the things that are happening with Ken. And they'll admit it. My point is this. There are other ways that Ken can abscond and try and run away from justice. We who are close to him are telling you that we think what Ambassador Smith just said is the truth. Ken would like to come. Okay? He is not above the law. So we are not asking for special treatment. But what would it take for us to facilitate his coming so you subject himself to these things? And that's why I asked some of those questions that I asked. In certain places, they even do, they flip witnesses. A guilty person will be flipped to testify against another person. This AG is doing it. Okay? In certain places, they will give some guarantees. Okay? In fact, in the case of Escobar, who is an extreme criminal, they allowed him to build his own prison. Okay? So we should start thinking about ways that we can find accommodation with Ken to get him to calm down. He is not above the law, but he's also not beneath the law. Okay? And if what we want is to try him, go ahead and try him. If what we want is to bring him bodily here, let us arrange something with him to assuage his apprehensions, because he actually has options. And clearly, based on what Ambassador Smith is saying, this is not a run-of-the-mill ICE case. If it's a run-of-the-mill ICE case, he may be sent to Ghana tomorrow. Okay, ICE does not need anybody's permission to do that. They can just throw him out of the place. Okay, so I think we should approach this Ken matter a bit differently from a normal arraignment.
Mr. Kotovo, so even though the Attorney General has given that assurance, it says Ken Ofori still has that apprehension.
To be honest with you, and regards to Ambassador Smith, and again, you must listen to Ambassador Smith's words carefully. He says that that is what he is hearing.
For people
He has not said that that is what is fact. Because to be honest with you, I don't believe that in one bit. That Ken has no difficulty coming, except that he is worried about how he will be treated.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe it.
Why?
You see, it is a contrived excuse. Everything can. If you allow me, if you allow me.
You don't believe it. So
Yeah, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Even if Ken himself told me, I wouldn't believe it.
Okay.
Because I will assess Ken by his conduct, not by his words. Everything he has done here shows that he's been trying to evade justice. That is all. The man has tried to evade justice for a year or so. Yeah. So, near say so by himself or people close to him that he would like to come, but he is afraid of how he will be treated, does not catch eyes with me. Number two, what has happened in this country that is so extraordinary in terms of how we treat persons accused of crime that Ofori is afraid of? What has happened? This bit about Yoko now granting bail. Yoko is not above the laws of Ghana. If Yoko does anything that is extrajudicial, they can be reined in by a court. So if you are arrested and taken to Yoko, and they impose bail conditions that are unreasonable, there's a recourse. Yeah. And many people have used it in this particular instance. The National Service people who were detained, bail was set to be commensurate to the offense. That's all. If they thought that it was excessive, they just go to court and have it quashed. If a court upholds what the security agencies have done, it is lawful. So please, let us not countenance untenable excuses to allow a man accused of crime to evade justice. Ken is no more human. Indeed, when Kofi cited a Bible verse, do unto others what you have others do unto you. Why? Was Ken not in government when other former public officials were put before court? Is he more human than them? Is he more human than Atufosi, who was put before court? And the last time I was on a set with Kofi and this matter came up, his government put a man who had kidney failure sitting in the wheelchair in court.
Yeah.
The former, listen, I'm coming. The former health director of the health ministry, the man had kidney failure. And he had visual impairment. He had hearing impairment. He could not walk.
In the first place,
I'm coming.
No,
I'm coming.
Number two.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Ken. Not
I still stand by it.
I'm coming.
It's wrong to put sick people. So what they did was wrong.
Good. So I'm coming. Okay. No, it is your own verse. Do unto others.
So I'm standing by it.
If you let me land, please. Do unto others what you have others on do unto you. What did Ken do to others?
Is he the one who jailed them?
No, it was his government. You understand me? No, you Ken. Listen, I don't believe that his mismanagement of the economy is basis to prosecute him unless you establish crime. So for me, that he inflicted hardships on Ghanaians through incompetence and mismanagement is not an issue. Ghanaians have exacted retribution by voting out his government and his cousin.
Thank you.
You understand? So that I accept. But if he is believed to have committed a crime, there's nothing about Ken that makes him extraordinary.
Agree.
That allows us to accept this excuse that he will be unfairly treated. You and I live here. Tell me, who has been treated extrajudicially in the last 30 years? Indeed, if anybody can be said to have been treated like that, it will be Gregory Afoko. Why is there not a court ordered his release? He was held for 10 years by the government that Ken was part of. Why? Gregory Afoko was he not human? So how do no? I'm not even saying that it is justification for treating people wrongly, but I'm saying that in Ghana here, we don't have a history of behaving like Russia. So the Navadni excuse is completely far-fetched. Look, indeed. Again, let me say this. There may be other instances, but why? The only time in the last 30 years that a high-profile person has died in the custody of security services was Alhaji Issa Mobila in 2005, where he was tortured by soldiers and killed. Since that matter,
I made the point that I don't think this is what my country is.
Exactly. So
don't say that.
So it does not even arise. Look, Ken has tried to evade justice. Ghanaian law enforcement officials have the right to hold any and everybody. Look, President Mahama, when he left office, he was subjected to an investigation process.
I have said the same thing.
No problem. So even President Akufo-Addo, if his 3-year immunity status does not expire, anybody who believes that he's done something can. But President Akufo-Addo is living in this country. Nobody has harassed him. Yeah. So what is special about Ofori that will make anybody harass him? The fact that he may be arrested, read his rights, and kept in police or whatever custody it is, interrogated, taken to court, granted bail, and then the court process, begins. How different is that from what even members of his government as well are going through today? Are there not MPP people who want to be and co? And who want to be his lawyer is here? The buffer stock man. No, Alfred, the buffer stock man.
The same thing.
The buffer stock man, is he not standing trial?
We're all saying the same thing. What has happened to him?
What has happened to him that is extraordinary? Again, the last 2 points. Again, the options that Kofi says are available to Ken Ofori are actually not available. Indeed, check the sequence of events. Ken Ofori's visa was revoked upon the intervention of the Ghanaian government because it was noticed that the extradition process may take a bit of time.
I see.
However, if the visa is revoked, immediately, even his stay in the United States is made untenable, unless he is able to show at this hearing that he has cause to do so. So the fact that they have a citizenship purchase program doesn't mean that if you are accused of crime, you can go and buy it as a way of evading justice. The American system is not a banana republic.
Excellent.
They have straight, forget about what you may think about Trump, but their system is solid. They believe in the rule of law and they practice it. Even President Trump will be held to account if they believe he is done wrong. So the fact that he is selling citizenship, that program is open to persons who are eligible. They will screen you. You think that they will sell citizenship to somebody who they suspect to be a terrorist? They won't. Or a drug dealer. They won't. Number two. No. Kofi, I'm saying, are you saying that the American authorities? No. Even if listen, he could have said I'll land shortly. Kofi, you believe that President Trump or the American system will grant or sell citizenship to a drug dealer or a terrorist simply because that is available, or somebody who has criminal charge of crime? They won't. Number two, self-deportation. They will not hand $3,000 over to Ofori to self-deport, knowing what they know. When they themselves have taken the step to revoke his stay in the United States because of the offenses that he is accused of. So the argument that Kofi has advanced, unfortunately, are not tenable. Number one, Ken doesn't have any excuse not to be here. Nobody will kill him. Nobody will mistreat him. There is so much recourse that he can resort to if he feels unfairly treated. The same treated meted out to everybody. Why? We had this chairman of Oswampofu. He was arrested and put before court for attending a meeting. Meanwhile, those who actually had killed people, over which he was convening the meeting, walked free. It happened in this country. There are people who shot people dead, who are walking free in this country. Gregory Afoko, a court ordered his release. He was kept for 10 years, a decade. It was under Ofori's government when that happened. So please,
has never got in the government.
What that means, the government that he was part of, it is because of the premise that Kofi laid. Do unto others what you want others to do unto. So what did Ofori's government, his cousin, the president, do to others?
His brother, they have brothers.
You understand me? So please, everybody, and indeed, the reason why Ofori's case is even essential is that he was in occupied Ghana with Kofi. Why? He is on record to have actually penned an article in 2015 calling on people to hold government to account. Indeed, he even attacked civil society and the media for being complicit in what he believed to be poor governance and calling for accountability. He went on Occupy Ghana demonstrations ostensibly to demand accountability, which was his right. Why, therefore, is he running away from accountability? When the same rod is used to measure him, he says he is afraid. Suddenly, Ghana has become a backwater republic, a banana republic. That the moment he comes to Ghana, he will be bundled up, taken to his home, tortured and murdered. So he is afraid. He can't come to Ghana. He is better than Gifto Awari and Abdul Hanan and Wuntumi and all the others. He is better than Opuni, Agongo, Atufosin, Ofoswampofu. He is better than Sedina, who stands convicted as we speak.
These are your words.
Yes. So that is why I'm saying that I disagree virulently with Kofi's take on this matter. He may be your friend, but let us be fair. Me, if I'm accused of wrongdoing, I must go through the same process, irrespective of my position in society. If Honorable Apia Kubi is accused, the same process. If President Mama is accused, the same process. So that is how.
Last week when I was here, I told
Ghanaians
that I was also invited.
Absolutely. Yes. And indeed, in your case, look, you had cause to engage the security agencies over what you perceive to be mistreatment of your client. You took the steps to ensure that his rights were vindicated and respected. Not so. So as we speak, the matter is in court. He goes to court, he goes home. Yes, it may impose financial burden, it may impose stress on you.
I told Ghanaians about myself.
Absolutely. You subjected yourself.
Yes, I
look, me, the last time we were in government,
the man came
I woke up one day and former President Rollins had said that I had gone to buy 2 houses.
Okay, gentlemen.
Look, let me tell you something. He said that I had gone to buy 2 houses. They were completely false allegations. The OSP put it on his cards and sought to investigate it, except that he found out it was false, so he discontinued it. You understand me? If indeed he had ever called me in respect of those false, bogus allegations, I would have had to respond. The former president of this country, over bogus Airbus allegations, was interviewed by the OSP.
The current president?
The current president. Yes. So if even the president subjects himself to due process, why would a former financier suddenly express fear which doesn't exist? These are non-existent fears.
That is
and for me, it is only a ruse to evade justice. It is going to extraordinary lengths to do so. Nonetheless, I speak for government and I can assure you that there is no effort to mistreat him, embarrass him, or harass him. In any event, it's not even government that is looking into his activities properly, so-called. It is the OSP, an independent arm, except that the OSP has only enlisted government's help to use formal processes to get him here for prosecution. That is what has happened. And so we must be fair. You see, we must show respect to the people of Ghana. You cannot come and take public office, enjoy the trappings, hold yourself out as a prominent figure. And then when it is time for accountability, you try to dictate to the people what treatment should be meted out to you, which is different from how all others have been treated. So I, quite frankly, do not accept this excuse about he is afraid to come. He simply does not want to come. End of story for me.
Well, let me bring Marty Pebo. On the bit about with this Kenforiates fears, which Ambassador Victor Smith referenced, and Kofi says he is aware. How do the sentiments of people expressed? Because it says it's based on the apprehension is based on what people have said and what he is.
Mostly the OSP.
The OSP.
And what has the OSP said?
What exactly has the OSP?
What has the OSP said or done? What has the OSP said or done? You see, let's interrogate it. What has the OSP said or done? That threatens Kenforiates' liberties.
No, I'll come to it.
Beyond taking him to court.
Are you get into that detail? What exactly has the OSP said or done that would influence the apprehension of Kenforiates to come?
In the beginning, the OSP, we remember the press conferences that the OSP put out. And his language was very belligerent. He had asked for Ken to be interviewed. Ken was in hospital. Ken's lawyers reached out to them. They offered the interview through some other means. They were certified that Ken was indeed undergoing treatment. He refused those, put out a press conference, and said all manner of things to the effect that that attitude of Ken was unlawful and that he was going to make sure that he brings him in, and issued Interpol red notices against him when he hadn't even charged him. All right, for a year, you had a number of pronouncements from the OSP, okay, accusing Ken of insisting on being treated specially.
Yes,
and saying you are
my brother. How does that constitute a threat? A prosecutor accusing an accused person of wrongdoing and insisting that he will apply the law. How does that endanger Ken's liberty?
Let him come.
Can the OSP, a person, it is important. It is important. Can the OSP on his own yank Ken out of a plane and put him in prison without recourse to the courts of law? It's not possible.
And the point that
it's not possible.
Since he keeps cutting me.
Sorry.
I think we were all in this country. And for a year, we had the kind of things that the OSP said about Ken, to the effect that Ken was evading.
Yes.
Okay. He was not cooperating. Yes. When Ken had no legal responsibility to be a participant,
but you see,
he will not let me make my point. But listen. I don't think that you. When the point is being made, you go up and make sure it's right. Listen, Felix, you are in government.
Sure.
I can tell you that if the whole state system comes up against you, you have no responsibility to participate in your own prosecution. Fine. So if for a year, okay, the OSP comes and accuses you of things you haven't done simply because you did not, okay, participate in your own prosecution the way he wanted you to. He wanted Ken, a sick man, to get out of theater, use his own money to take a plane, come to Ghana, and be interrogated in Ghana.
Okay,
I'm not doing it anymore.
But
I think we all knew what happened in this country.
When he says that, it's an extremely important point. When Ken says he's afraid, okay, no, it's not an interrogation. You see, Ken says he's afraid to come here because he'll be mistreated. What is the basis for that fear? The thing that the OSP has said.
And that's the question.
What's the basis of
why? The state can compel you.
Okay.
The state cannot compel you to participate in your own proceedings.
Why would the state arrest you?
The state cannot compel you to participate in your own proceedings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's what you want. If it were you, I'll say the same thing.
Let me just say.
You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to remain silent. The things that were done in the past were wrong.
But you are compelled to stand down.
Your microphones are off. You are now being distracted. Gentlemen, thank you. You are not being heard. 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 So
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. to my best of knowledge, without any biases. PENDREAM TV.